welcome everybody. This is a What's Up For You call. It is March 12th, 2024. And let's just check in before we get to the questions and see if there's anything up to share, and then we'll just jump right in. So, yeah, as I was suggesting, literally just slowing down, moving to that still point is going to be much more supportive right now than just about anything else that you can do. We've been talking a lot in the New World Portal lately about the fact that, energy is literally, swirling all around and attempting to land all at the same time. And so there's a lot of movement happening within each and every one of us. And so slower is better. Yeah. Still point better than trying to figure it out in your head. That, yeah, it's just not gonna hit it. We were also talking in the New World Portal, I think yesterday, about the fact that, as all this energy is attempting to land, as your kids are trying to land, as you're trying to land, as we're trying to kind of reorient ourselves to who we are and what we are now. Just breathe, still, allow yourself to be. Yep. Simple things, grounding. Yeah. So anyway, let's start there. And Sharon, what have you got for me?
All right, this first question is it possible to use our minds to heal our loved ones? My son has been having brain inflammation for many years. I want to help him heal completely. What modalities energetically help us heal him?
Heal you first is where I'll go. And what do I mean by that? So, you might say, well, I don't have brain inflammation. He has brain inflammation. It's like, I'm not the one that needs it. He needs it. So first and foremost, let's go to what we're experiencing, what we're feeling, what we're noticing, so that we have that still point to choose from, right? So let me look at something here, and I'll look at specific modalities. So yeah, first and foremost, if we're attempting to support somebody else, we want to support our own energy around that. So fear, anxiety, stress, any of those things might be coming up because your child is experiencing brain inflammation. So all of that, we want to be present to all of that first. Secondarily, once that energy is clear within us, we can absolutely set the intention to find and know all the modalities that will be productive, will be supportive for this healing. So it's the way I want to say this is that when we can come to that our still point within, what will happen is the intention will be set, right, to support the healing. And then all the information that's required for that healing will come to us. If we're in the mode of, I've got to fix this, and we're jumping out and away from ourselves, we're not with ourselves to receive the information, right? So, and this information can come to any one of us. It can come really directly to each and every one of us. And at this time, that's exactly what we want. We want to know within ourselves, you want to know within yourselves as a parent, that when you get still and hold that intention, that all the right modalities, you might say, will show up and come to you. And there are any number of modalities that could be supportive, including you sitting in stillness and visualizing, intending that the reduction of that inflammation. Yeah, that's just one. There might be any number of other supports that'll come to you, but stillness first. And the only way I know to get to stillness is first addressing within myself the things that are coming up because of that experience. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Yeah.
Okay, this question is, our son is in pain and suffering. Do you have any recommendations for tools that help us in truly embracing the suffering as part of our journey?
Yeah, again, very much what I was just sharing. The it's let me let me find the best way to share this. Hold on a second. Let me slip into light language for just a minute. It'll be easier. So suffering is part of each and every one of our journeys until it's not. And what I mean by that is when suffering is no longer part of our journeys, it doesn't mean that there aren't things going on that are challenging. I mean, challenges will continue. It's again, how do we engage with those challenges? So even the word suffering, I get it. Many of you are suffering, and many of your children very much appear to be suffering. And through that lens, you could say they are, you could say they are suffering. Even shifting that word to a challenge to be met versus suffering is a little bit higher, you might say, on the vibrational scale. So these are challenges to be met. And when we allow ourselves to know that, then again, we can feel into ourselves first. Yep, it's just the old phrase, it's like you put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you put it on your child. So that awareness that, wow, my child is suffering is the belief or is the perception right now. And what does that do to you? How does that make you feel? It's like, I mean, any parent would feel, overwhelmed, victimized, sometimes out of control even. It's like no parent wants to see their child suffer. So let's look at that first. Let's look at what is it bringing up for you, even in the word suffering. Where has suffering already been a part of your life experience? And we don't need to dwell on where suffering was a part of your life experience prior to your child. But we do want to at least acknowledge that suffering has existed, probably in all of our lives prior to interacting with, these children. So the moment that we kind of give ourselves permission to kind of go, yes, suffering has existed. Yes, I'm seeing this experience through the lens of suffering. Yes, I would like to change that to perceiving it through the lens of a challenge. Yes, this is a challenge to be met. And we're always going to meet it first by being present to what it's bringing up inside of us. Yeah. And the moment we do that, what you're going to notice again is the experiences might continue, the way in which he's behaving or acting or that challenge might continue to exist, but now it's seen through the lens of a challenge to be met instead of suffering. Yeah. And that little tweak of our mindset, allows all kinds of other opportunities to show up to meet that challenge. Yeah. So we're just vibrationally amping things up just a little bit so that we can have new information come to us. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that answered it.
Okay, this next question is 5 months ago, my younger brother transitioned. As he entered hospice, my right knee got inflamed. I also experienced shingles then and have been working to reset my nervous system since. With my dad passing 2 weeks ago, my left side lower back has been super painful. This started in January. With his hospice entry, knee is healing very slowly so far, and back to still crying very loudly. Any guidance?
Yeah. Well, first, sorry for your losses. And, two back to back like that is, it's a lot. That's a lot of stability that's, it feels like it's been removed from your experience, from your daily human life experience. So it's interesting. The question I have, and maybe will hit an emotion button, maybe not. And if it does, I really suggest allowing those emotions to arise and really be felt. But can you and or how do you go on without them? Right? How do you move forward without these two individuals in your life? So the knee and the inflammation immediately was all I heard was, how do I move forward? How do I move forward? The kind of pain in the lower back, maybe more associated with your dad, is stability. It's like, where's your stability now? Yep. How can that stability, how can the capacity to move forward be found within you? Those two energies may have been energies that were unconsciously wrapped up in your brother and your father. Yep, in one way or another. And so now we're just, there we go, something just shifted in the lower back. So as we just ask ourselves that question, how do we move forward? How do we find stability from the inside out instead of what might have been from the outside in? Yeah, there we go. There's so much moving in you just by having this conversation. I mean, I don't know if you're noticing that or not, or will notice it in coming days, but there's a lot of energy moving down around your sacrum, your tailbone, that whole hip girdle, stability. Yeah. And moving forward kind of intuitively, it really is within your capacity to do that naturally and organically. And it's almost like when we have experiences of loss, especially multiple losses, it has a tendency to break us open in ways that we might not have allowed for ourselves before. And all I keep hearing is you going right inside and asking those questions. Those questions alone are starting to melt something that might have, might have prevented forward movement in the past. And it feels like you're becoming freed up for that at this point. Yeah. So, yeah.
And she's also asking about stepping into my healing practice more fully and would like to open up a flow of clients finding me for sessions, classes, and retreats.
Yeah, you just answered my question or my query about what you were, yeah, so what if your father and your brother left at this time so that you could find your way forward on your own, so that you're not hindered in any way, shape, or form by past imprinting? You know, what if they were inviting you not to rely on them so much anymore, but to rely on your own intuitive capacity? Yep, and you have it. I will promise you that. I'm sorry, yeah, and I'm also glad that the tears are coming up, because I promise you, you absolutely have that capacity to move forward. And just having a little inquiry about that, thanking them, appreciating the fact that this was their time to move on, and it's your time to move on as well. It's just that you're moving on in this physical world, on this physical plane. Yep. And they're moving on in other worlds and in other planes. But you've got this. You really do. Yeah. So the clients are coming. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Next question. I am an empath and I'm sometimes overwhelmed with emotions that may or may not belong to someone else. How can I distinguish if these strong emotions are mine or someone else's?
Oh, you and me both. Um, so let's assume that for all the empaths here, that let's assume that at least a portion of what is being felt belongs to someone else or belongs to a collective. Yeah. So if we just assume that, the reason to assume that is not to default that energy or not to push that out on somebody else. The reason as an empath to assume that is that also for an empath, it is usually easier to have love, compassion, and understanding for someone else than it is for ourselves, right? So let's say, you walk into a space, you pick up anger, frustration, or hostility. You're feeling that in your body. If you will allow yourself to assume that that energy belongs both to you and someone else, sometimes it's easier to have love, compassion, and understanding for yourself, so that you don't, it's not so that you don't connect to or adhere to that energy, so that you don't make it yours. As an empath, it's not, the trouble doesn't lie in the fact that we feel all kinds of things. The trouble lies in the fact that we identify with it, we make it ours, and then it solidifies in our bodies. And usually it hurts. Yep, when it solidifies in our bodies. Also, as an empath, you'll consistently learn throughout your lifetime that there are ways in which you connect to other people's energies in order to be of support to them. And again, that that fine tuning is going to happen throughout your life, so that we go back to ourselves first and really ask, it's like, where am I connecting to this other individual? Where am I making that energy matter? Again, not as a blame or a shame, but just as an awareness that, oh, I'm picking up information again. And as I'm picking up information, what response do I want to have to the information that I'm picking up? Wow, if people around me are really feeling like this, the way I'm feeling in my body right now, if people around me are really feeling like this, they probably could use some love, compassion, and understanding. Yeah. I could probably use some love, compassion, and understanding, is what you can say to yourself in those moments. How do we want to handle, how do we want to respond to what we are picking up as it moves through our body? Yeah. Yeah. I was over at, yeah, I was in Sedona yesterday and with a lot of people and lots of people interacting, mingling around and things like that. Got home very late last night. And what I noticed is like I had all of these thoughts running through my head. And again, all kinds of, highs, lows, and everything in between. And what I was noticing is that, it's very easy to slip into, oh, that's mine. And the practice really becomes, well, it might be mine and it might be someone else's. And so, how are we going to meet this opportunity? And even like verbally talking to myself and saying, we're choosing this response over that. Yeah, we're choosing this focal point over that one. So yeah, it's a practice, and it's a practice that we all want to get really good at, because quite frankly, empathy doesn't disappear. It's not like we are going to be empaths our whole lives. Yep. And the refinement of that energy and what we're aware of is going to get more precise throughout our whole lives. Yep. So it's really great to ask ourselves those kind of questions. All right.
Okay, I'm learning Hoponopono and divine light energy to help with healing myself and my child. Do you have any insights on this?
Love them both. Yeah, I've had, yeah, they're beautiful opportunities. The energy and the vibration of both of those modalities is, in my estimation, very high frequency. And as with anything, the proof is always in the pudding. The proof is always in the practice. So as you practice it, I love Ho'opono as well, because it just releases it. Again, there's an awareness and then there's a release. And yeah, they're beautiful practices. It's going to work well for you. I can already see that energetically in your field. And yeah, the proof is in the practice. You're going to like the results of that one. Both of those.
2 months ago, I had intense pressure on my crown chakra area, and I was dizzy as well. Just curious what it was.
So one of the things that's happening right now is there's a reorientation between our soul stars 8 to 10 inches above your head and your earth star 8 to 10 inches below your feet. That reorientation is really about creating lines of communication through the multiple dimensions of you, the multiple information fields of you, the realities of you. Many of us have, out of a survival strategy, kind of closed up the crown chakra a bit, and we closed it up for a very good reason. It's reopening now, kind of naturally and organically. It's reopening so that flow can come all the way down from, as above, so below. Those two are really going to merge at some point. So that crown in this kind of energetic climate is naturally and organically opening, as is many of the, it's almost like the chakra system is going to open very systematically. It might bounce around a little bit, but the crown will open, and then you might have a lower chakra open, and then you might have the third eye open again, and then it might bounce back and forth between these two above and belows, you might say. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's just naturally and organically opening. And sometimes when these places and spaces within ourselves reorient, open up to more of who we are, it hurts. It's like it's been in a particular position for a period of time. So if it has some physical discomfort, it's usually just because that old positioning is being opened up. Yeah, won't last. Thank it. I know it's hard when your head hurts to thank it, but it really is doing its job. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything else I can share with you about that. Yeah, one of the things I will add to this is, again, some good old-fashioned grounding, some good old-fashioned chakra clearing, however you do that. Especially because for you, it looks like once this crown really opens up, there's kind of like a rush of energy that moves down through, and you just want it to have a place to land. Yep. So especially those lower chakras, just asking them what they need, what color do they need, you can use any kind of modality. The intention is what's going to be important here, but you're just opening a space for all that new information to land. So,
Hi, Suzy. When my son was a baby, he was admitted into the hospital for an infection. While he was there, I made many decisions out of fear that caused him physical pain and harm. I still hold a lot of guilt about this, and I often wonder if my son can feel the energy of my guilt and if there's anything I can do to clear and alchemize it. Thank you so much.
yeah. So let's just move that here. If you would to ask your son's higher self about this, there is really nothing within him that is blaming or shaming you. It's there's no place within him that's saying you should or you shouldn't have done whatever you did or didn't do, whatever choices you made. So he's not shaming you. So there's something here. Hold on just a minute. So we want to acknowledge that we're human beings. Yeah, we're being human in this incarnation. And we are not here for rights and wrongs. We are not here to get something right or to get something wrong. We are here for the experience of being here. And as we're here for the experience of being here, I'm not a fan of this word, but I'll say it anyway. Let me see if I can find another one. Hold on a second. We're here for the experience of it. In the process of any experience, we have the opportunity to choose and choose again. Right? So the word I'm not so fond of is learn. For whatever reason, that's just me, but for whatever reason, when I hear the word learn, I feel like I'm right back in school and like I'm going to be punished if I don't quote unquote learn a lesson, which is not where this is coming from at all. So if we're not here to get it, if we are here to have a human experience, And if we are here to not get it right or get it wrong, but simply to have experiences that then offer us the opportunity to choose again, right? From that place of choosing again, we can say, oh, yeah, guilt, shame, that's all here. I don't choose it now. I don't choose it, right? I choose love. I choose compassion. I choose to see that the vibration of something that is heavier in nature, lower, you might say, on that frequency scale, is not as productive as love, compassion, and understanding. Yeah. So the other thing I want to say here is there forgiveness, forgiveness of yourself is really not so much about digging into something and figuring it out and trying to find forgiveness, not in this energetic climate. Forgiveness is every time you choose something else. Yeah, forgiveness is every single time you choose, I'm going to have a little bit of compassion for myself instead of beating myself up. Yeah, yeah. Your your child does not want you to beat yourself up. No child wants their parent to beat themselves up. Yeah. No child wants to beat themselves up, right? Yeah. So we're just reorienting that. Forgiveness is every single time you choose a little bit of, oh, I'm feeling guilt again. Just see you putting your hand on your heart, a little love and compassion for you, even it's just for a nanosecond. And then you move on through your day. And oh, there it is again. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
My amazing son is almost 3.5 years old. He is very tall for his age, happy and curious boy. He doesn't speak yet, and he goes to a special education playgroup every Tuesday morning for 2 hours. It is pretty small and typically is happy to go. Usually gets excited when I tell him we're going to go. But today he didn't want to go. He was noticeably sad, didn't want to get out of the car, and he was crying when I was leaving. Teachers at the playgroup also told me he was sad today and didn't want to participate. And he can't tell me something over there recently, or he can't tell me if something happened over there recently or what's going on. Could you please look into this and help me understand the reasons behind the sudden change in his attitude towards attending this playgroup? Or maybe he is just not feeling well and I'm overthinking this. Thank you so much for the insights.
I like number two. Yes. Pick number two. Um, yeah. Hmm. What I'm seeing here is almost like, uh, let's say like it's almost like his body, his energetic field, his physical body, just, I don't think he feels very well. I really don't. I think he's just, I mean, I think it's simple, coming down with something, and again, when a behavior shifts like that, as we kind of go right into, we can go into fear, worry, and concern. And I get that, especially when you have a child who can't verbally communicate with you. Every one of us, our minds go in a million different directions about what something could be. But I love the fact that you kind of answered your own question there. So listen to those things internally too. When you say, oh, I might be making too much of this, and, I might be in my head about it, listen to that. Listen, trust that. Begin to really trust that. Because as you begin to really trust that, if there was a moment where there was something else that you really needed to know about and that, was maybe, um, yeah, that you just needed to know about, it's much more likely that you're going to tap into that awareness and know it. Yeah. Um, so yeah, what I keep hearing to tell you is trust those comments that you make. Trust that information. That information really is coming directly from your son. Yeah, you're picking up, yes, I'm feeling, I'm not feeling so great. You know, yeah. He is pointing me right back to telling you, trust you, trust you. You're actually, you get more information from him than I think that you realize. And he just is saying the more that you're trusting that information, the more information you'll receive from him. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Sharon.
I have strong energies going on with my digestive system. Could you say anything about this?
Hmm. It's interesting. The first thing I heard when you said that is, the old, how to digest life. But then when I was looking at it a little bit deeper, it's like there must be something about you that witnesses and watches people around you, or even maybe the collective right now, and how they're digesting information. How it's almost like I can just see you standing back and watching all kinds of people. Um, and it feels like all that energy is moving through your own digestive system. And so, this will sound however it sounds, but start start asking yourself, when you're having digestive issues, what is it that you are trying to digest, and or what is the person that you're watching or witnessing trying to digest? Just ask the question, what's trying to be digested here? And as you ask that question, I get the sense that you're going to come up with all kinds of information that kind of ironically is going to take your attention off your own digestive system and onto the information that's trying to be digested. There's something about you that energetically supports that. Um, and again, kind of probably it's your own way of being an empath, you might say. Um, yeah, there's something about even your soul template that helps to digest information, helps to make sense of information. And I think the more you ask those kinds of questions, the more you're going to know exactly what you're attempting to help digest. And the moment that you kind of go, oh, it's this. That's all you really need. Oh, I hear you saying we're digesting this. We can do this. That's okay. We can digest this. Yeah, we can allow it to move all the way through from soul star to earth star. That's possible. We can do that. Yeah. Yeah. You hold a position in that way, at a soul level. So, yeah. Thanks.
I have another question on digestion with this one, and it says, my son is on the autism spectrum, and he has been facing constipation for the last 1.5 years. We give him laxatives daily, and we have tried many different diets, but he's not able to pass stool naturally. How can we help him to have regular bowel movements? And is he stuck at an emotional level, or is there something in a past life trauma in his stomach?
Uh, what I keep, what I heard him saying is, I'm backed up. Um, and when I hear him say that, I hear he's talking about it from the vantage point of, hold on a second. Okay, it's almost like literally, like backing up. So like, let's use the visual. If something was coming at you full throttle, coming at you quickly, and arm goes out, back up, back up, back up, slow down, slow down, slow down. It's like, those are the words that I hear: back up, slow down, back up, slow down. And so that kind of conversation or that kind of energy might be said in his environment. It might be, he might be moving quickly and somebody else is telling him to slow down. That's the physical world manifestation of that. The energetics of that are such that it's almost like, um, he's coming in, he's coming in, he's coming in really quickly. He's trying to come in very quickly. And almost like there's a collective energy that says, back up, back up, back up, wait, 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 wait. And so, hold on a second, this is more of this is more of an energetic constipation, if you will. This is more of an energetic program that's running, where his body is receiving the information, or his soul, even essence, is receiving the information to back up and slow down, back up and slow down. And so all we want to do is we want to shift that energy to almost like, come on, show me what you got. Like, come on, show up. Let's do it. Let's, uh, um come on, Jinjoism. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I just want to keep telling him, it's like, come on, it's okay, come on, show up, come on, let's go this way. When I say that to him, he says, is it time? Is it time now? Or wait, what now? Yep, yeah, it's time. Come on, come on, come on. It's like, it's almost like we're beckoning him forward instead of saying, wait, slow down, slow down, slow down. And so again, even in our verbal communication with him, if he is somebody who is a fast moving kid, it's almost like we want to say, we want to find out what to do with that fast moving energy instead of verbally saying to him, slow down, back up. Yeah. Yeah. Where are we going to put all that energy? What are we going to do with all that energy that you've got? Yep, you've got a lot to do with that energy that you're bringing in. Yeah, what are we going to do with all that? Those kinds of questions for him, that kind of language out, is ironically going to shift some of that constipation energy. Yeah. So play with that and let's see what happens there.
Good mornings. I'm so grateful for these opportunities. I've tried everything to lose some weight. Any insights of what is causing the issue? Thank you.
So I've tried everything to lose some weight, right? Nothing's helping, nothing's happening. So what gift does the weight offer you? Yeah, all I'm hearing is instead of looking at it from, I I have this weight and, it has to go. I want it to leave. What is that weight offering you? What gift does it present to you? What does it, oh, this is an interesting one. What does it know that you need right now? What does your body and its extra weight know that you need right now? Um, and an examination, I mean, you know, as a woman, as we all like to see ourselves in a certain way physically. And that's, we all understand that. We all have preferences. And what I'm hearing is the weight wants to regulate, and the weight is helping to regulate. And before it I'm hearing it like this, before it leaves you, it's asking you to understand what its gift actually is. Yeah, what awareness is, what have you become aware of simply because the weight has been there? What have you been noticing? I just keep hearing, what gifts does it have for you? Once the gifts are recognized and acknowledged, one of two things are going to happen. Either the gift is going to be strong enough to say, thank you very much for that weight for right now, and therefore it can change any way it likes. Or you receive the gift and the weight is no longer required. Either way, it's a different relationship to the weight is what you're looking to have your inquiry around. And even that word weight, we can look at that word as weightedness, like a heaviness. We can also look at it as weight, not yet, not time yet. Weight. So I would play with it in both of those ways. Yeah. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. The other thing that I would play with or look into is a bit of what I would call like yeast overgrowth or something like that. So look into that as well. It's almost like there's I would look into yeast overgrowth for that just came in. So I'd look at that too.
I'm struggling at the moment with next steps. I have been getting confirmation to go professional with my singing. I've tried getting gigs, but it's not really opening up in a way that encourages me to pursue this path. At the same time, I'm seriously considering moving back to Holland or Belgium to have financial stability. Perhaps there's even another path for me to follow that I am not aware of. Can you share what presents for me to help me move forward with ease in the most complementary direction?
Somewhere in the very beginning of your question, you made a really profound statement, or had a very profound awareness, which was with the singing and the singing gigs, you you said something along the lines of, I haven't been getting like almost like enough encouragement that would, something like that, Sharon, like that there wasn't enough.
Getting gigs, but it's not really opening up in a way that encourages me to pursue the path.
Encourages me to pursue the path. That is a brilliant, brilliant statement right there. So, what is encouraging? So play right there. That is your focal point right now. No matter what you choose to do, what and what you're saying there is, this is the kind of feedback that I need. This is the kind of feedback that I need in order to continue. Yeah. So, what encourages you? So play a little bit with a little bit in your imagination. So you get this singing. So let's say singing is something that you think you'd really love to pursue again, and you're in that space of, yeah, okay, I got the gig, and not only did I get the gig, but what's next? It's like, what actually is encouraging? Is it encouraging for somebody to say they've never heard a voice like yours? Is it encouraging for somebody to say that, you've got a unique talent? Is it encouraging for somebody to say, it's like they want to book you over and over again? Play in those scenarios, because what looks like might be the case is, with anything that is kind of a natural skill, a natural talent, something that is part of you, and also something that might have been ridiculed, or there might be some hurt energy around that in the past, especially when something's so personal to each and every one of us. Somebody can say something, and it hurts, it wounds, right? And so we kind of keep ourselves back behind that veil. And I would play with, practice, imagine, ooh, this is encouraging. That's the encouraging words I need to hear. Practice it, even say it out loud, pretend, if you will, that a scenario has happened. And it's like, the more you literally hear yourself through that visualization or imagination, the more you hear yourself say, oh my gosh, this is what they said, and this is what was encouraging, the more you're going to notice how much impact, how much effect you have on the outer world to create something that is much more encouraging for you than the even the financial stability route. Even that route, I'm going to go back to Holland for financial stability. Again, it's like, we could all use financial stability too, and we all have an edge that we come up to that says this amount of financial stability and no more. But again, what's encouraging? What encourages you? Yep, and play it out in your own head. Yeah, yeah. And then you're gonna like the impact of that. It's awesome. All right, one more.
You want to take one more?
Yeah, let's do one more and then we'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, my 7-year-old daughter's speech has made some improvements. She can say single words, but not forming sentences. Do you have any insights on her difficulties and what we can do to help her? We're doing a neural movement for the brain plasticity and cranial sacral therapy for energy work. Any other modalities?
Well, the very first thing I heard is encouragement, encouragement, encouragement. Wow, you've got a word. Wow, you're saying single words. This is amazing. Love hearing these single words. It's almost like, again, it's almost pairing off of what we were just talking about. What encourages her to go further? What encourages her to go further? So, and I get it, we're all human beings, we're all set on, okay, this is where it is now, but we want more. We want the next thing and the next thing. And I get that. We're here to experience more and more all the time. What I'm hearing is, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. And then, oh, look, 2, 3 words. Wow, that's amazing too. Oh, look, sentences. That's amazing. Yeah. I just keep hearing like staying in the amazement of what is in the moment, staying in the amazement of what is in the moment is really allowing for that fluidity, that flow of her communication. Yeah. I'm working with a boy right now that is 17 years old and all of a sudden just decided to verbally communicate. It's been nonverbal this whole time. And and I see that in him too. It's all about this flow of communication. What field of information, no, what field of energy can he communicate into, right? So all of that encouragement, all of that, this moment is amazing, is a big, wide open field that allows that energy to flow. And yeah, and it continues. It continues. So that perceptual shift might be helpful. The other thing, I just had a session with someone who does something called cogno movement. And I actually had 2 sessions with her. She's a speech language pathologist from Philadelphia. And we did the session over Zoom, but she did this cogno movement session with me, and it really does clear all kinds of information. I was pretty impressed with that too. So it might be something you want to look up as an alternative as well. Again, any of these modalities are going to be supported. You've got the power here, is what I want to say. I just keep seeing this. Any of those modalities will allow, will match the excitement that we have for each word that's coming out. Yeah, it's almost like as we're saying, wow, you've got a word, this is amazing, this is a great word. It's like, we can't wait to hear more of your words, and this word is great. And then you hear more and more and more. Right now you're opening this vibrational field, you're opening this flow of information, which makes it much easier for that verbal communication to show up. So we like to be exactly where we are and be in appreciation exactly where we are. Yep. And then in that movement, anything that comes in, cranial sacral, cognitive movement, any of these other techniques or modalities, then those modalities are in support of the energy that is kind of being established, right? If that field of information is, ooh, we're progressing, ooh, this is amazing, wow, can't believe this, then every one of those other modalities will add to that energy, you might say, and compound it. Yeah. If it's like, oh, things aren't moving fast enough, we're only at 1 word, we haven't gotten to 2 words, what's wrong, what's blocked, what's blah, 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 then these other techniques come in, but they come in like as a fix. and and they can only do what we're allowing them to do. I mean, honestly, people, we have all the power is inside of us. Yeah. All of the power is inside of us. And the more we kind of reorient ourselves in each given moment to that power, the more everything that is out and around us works for us, enhances. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. All right, we'll end on that note then. So, okay, let me see if there's anything to say as closing remarks, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, one of the things that is just so advantageous to consider right now, and I know we haven't been trained to think in this way, but if we think of our thoughts and our repetitive actions, and if we think of everything as like a vibrational flow, yep, is that vibrational flow opening up, or is that vibrational flow closing down and contracting? Is it connecting, or is it distancing? The more we ask ourselves those kinds of questions, the more choice we're going to have. So what I want to make sure that we don't do here is, so we look at our energy and we're kind of going, okay, is it opening or closing? Is it, we ask ourselves those questions. Please, please, please do not say, oh, it's closing, I'm a bad person. Oh, it's closing, you see, we're not making that, we're not having that awareness, or we're not witnessing that energy for any other reason other than to have a choice about how we move that energy. And the more we're aware, we awareness is key. The more we're aware of where we are, the more we can choose how we're going to move that energy. And the more we consciously do that, the more we're going to know that we are indeed vibrational beings. And as we are vibrational beings, we actually have more control, you might say, over our experiences than we might have previously thought. Yeah. And so, but that all begins with us being with ourselves. That's why we go back over and over again to what's going on inside of each and every one of us. Can we bring that into a stillness or into a witnessing? I'm simply witnessing this. And then, yep, thank you very much. I don't really choose that energy. I choose this. What's there to support me in this choice? Show me that. Yeah. And everything from inside of you that supports that will show up, and everything on the outside that supports that will show up. We just want to get really good at noticing that we're vibrational beings. So we want to pay more attention to that than we pay to other things. Yeah. All right. Lots of love to all of you. I hope you guys have a great month, and I'll see you around next time. Bye.